Welcome to the third episode of After the Buzzer alongside Tommy Irish and Ashton Lux. I am Millen Jaden Boys. We have a special guest, our first guest of the episode, Bridgeland's assistant boys basketball coach, Jason Griffin. Coach, thank you for coming on.
Man, thank you guys for having me. I sincerely appreciate it.
So Ashton, let's talk about what we're about to do here. We filled out a bracket, and Ashton, one-on-ones in the NBA. Ashton, talk us more about that.
Yes, sir. Since there is no basketball right now, and I know we're all missing it, and the playoffs are supposed to start this Saturday, we decided to make a 32-team one-on-one bracket and go on 2K20 and simulate the one-on-one games and see who's the winner. We have the east side and the west side.
Tommy, let's kick it off here. What did you put for the first round? We're starting on the east side, and we'll work our way over to the west side. Who did you have for the first game?
So starting over on the east side on my bracket, we have Yanis Antetokounmpo and Victor Oladipo. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Victor Oladipo is a good player, no doubt, but you can't guard a guy who's 7 feet tall and can dunk in Yanis Antetokounmpo. So I've got Yanis winning that first game.
I had to agree with him there, self-explanatory. Although Victor Oladipo did come off of an injury, and I believe he is a great player, there's no stopping 7-foot dunkers.
Coach?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Giannis long, he can get to the rim anytime he wants to. And Victor is not going to be able to get off a shot versus Giannis. Giannis is the best defensive player in the league. So that one's easy. He's gonna watch.
And with that game, Giannis won 21-3, sending Giannis to the next round.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor Victor.
21-3. Moving on to the next round. Kyrie Irving, Zach LaVine. Tommy, who'd you have?
I'm really high on Zach LaVine, especially because he's now in my hometown of Chicago. But I think Kyrie Irving might be the most dangerous players to play one-on-one against in the entire league just because he has ridiculous handles. So I have Kyrie Irving there.
Couldn't agree more. I had Kyrie winning just due to the fact his handles and all this and all that. Although I'm not I'm not a fan of him because he's not the best teammate in my opinion. I still think he'd still beat out Zach LaVine even without the athleticism of Zach.
I completely agree. I think Kyrie is, obviously one of the best one-on-one players in the league. And this is a situation where LaVine might not get a chance to touch the ball. Kyrie's gonna win handily in this matchup, I think.
This was a little bit of a surprise to me. The game was actually 21-14 Kyrie. Good game to watch. A little bit longer.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one, Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, both guys probably very good at one-on-one. Tommy, who do you have?
You know, Jimmy Butler is an all-around great player, but I think that he's more of a facilitator than he is a one-on-one star, whereas Trae Young has kind of put the Atlanta Hawks on his back his entire career. I have Trae Young winning that because he can also pull up from anywhere on the court and make it effortlessly.
Couldn't agree more. I had Trae Young on my side. He just can shoot the ball from anywhere, shoots one of the highest percents in the NBA as well, and great passer as well. I know it's one-on-one, but it's another part of his game that I love.
I'm going to go ahead and take the upset with this one. I'll take Jimmy Butler because I think he's one of the best defensive players in the league. And I'm not sure if this will reflect on 2K, but he's also one of the most competitive players in the league too. And he has a huge size advantage on Trae Young too. I think he's going to be able to get stops, and then I think he's going to convert into buckets with the size advantage. So I take Jimmy Butler in this one.
And Coach, you were right. Jimmy Butler took it 21-18. One of the very closest games, one of the most fun games to watch. His lockdown badge was on the whole time.
Wow. Moving on, Ben Simmons, Kemba Walker. Tommy?
I'll take the upset here. I have Kemba Walker winning this one. You know, Ben Simmons he's a great player all around, but I think Kemba Walker has really impressed me this year in Boston. And Simmons is okay, but he can't shoot if it's not 7 feet outside of the basket. So I'll take Kemba here.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've watched Ben Simmons since he was playing with Each One Teach One in Florida. I just messed that up. My bad. But I have Ben Simmons winning this. I couldn't disagree with you more. I've been watching him since he was playing Each One Teach One. He can't shoot, but I believe in a one-on-one situation, he would win that.
I agree with you, Ashton, on that one. And I really love Kemba Walker. I think he does a great job. I think he's a great teammate. I think the Celtics are a lot better with him. But this one's just kind of a mismatch just because of the size. And Ben Simmons is also one of the best defensive players in the league, too. He's able to guard perimeter guys and in the post. And he has like 10 inches on Kemba Walker. Like I think Kemba Walker is really like 5'9" in real life. So he's gonna get murdered in the post. And I take Simmons in that one.
Coach, you are correct. 21-8, Ben Simmons.
Wow.
Moving on, Joel Embiid and Bradley Beal. Tommy, what do we have?
I think this should also be a pretty self-explanatory one because of the size advantage and the fact that Joel Embiid has become one of the better players in the NBA. I have Joel Embiid here easily.
Yep, I had Joel Embiid as well. Watching that game it was very hard to watch. It was just pretty much holding L2 down the whole time. There was no ball handling. There was nothing. It was just post game the whole time.
Yeah, man, this was tough because I really like Brad Beal, and there's some things that I really dislike about Joel Embiid. His motor, and, he kind of turns it on and off at times. But, Tommy, just like you said, the size advantage is just too big to ignore, so I'll take Joel Embiid in this one.
And, yes, another one, Coach. Joel Embiid, 21-7. Another hard game to watch. Very hard.
It's a bad matchup, man. It's a bad matchup.
Yeah. Bradley Beal got hoed a little bit.
Next, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry. Who do we have? Tommy?
This is another easy one, not only because of the size advantage, but because I feel like Pascal Siakam has become a much better all-around player now that he's kind of stepped up as one of the Raptors' star players since Kawhi Leonard left. He can shoot, he can pass, he can get to the bucket easily, and he's just a very valuable asset. I think he's really underrated in this league, so I'm going to take Siakam over his teammate Lowry.
I had Siakam as well, coming off as most improved player of the year last year, and just watching Kawhi Leonard, I believe he just was going to kill Kyle Lowry with his length. He was shooting very well, just all around. I believe he would kill Kyle Lowry.
I agree with both you guys. I think Lowry's kind of a bad matchup. Siakam, like you guys said, has emerged into one of the better all-around players in the league. He can shoot, he can make plays, he can defend. And I really do like Lowry. He's really competitive, but he's not competitive enough to make up for the talent and size disadvantage.
Yep, another one in the bag. Pascal Siakam, 21. Kyle Lowry, 8.
Wow. Moving on to the lower rounds, Jason Tatum, DeAngelo Russell. Tommy, who do we have?
Well, I feel like DeAngelo Russell has really not improved as much. He has not been the player that we saw last year in Brooklyn. And on the flip side, Jason Tatum has we expected this coming, but maybe not as good. Jason Tatum is the leader of the Celtics, fair and square. I have Jason winning this one.
Couldn't agree with you more. Jason Tatum, one of my favorite players, although he did dunk on my all-time favorite player, LeBron, last year. I think just Jason Tatum all around is a great player. Literally watched him since high school just grow up into this player that is just crazy on the court. He can pass, he can score, he can shoot, he can do anything you want him to do.
Yeah, I completely agree with you guys. I don't think DeAngelo Russell could guard anybody on this podcast right now. Defense is not – that's not part of the things that makes him a special player. Jason Tatum, really special offensive player, and I think he's kind of a sneaky choice to go far in this tournament. He's got length, he can defend, he can score from anywhere. So I think Tatum wins this one easily.
Although we all had Jason Tatum, I don't know what 2K was doing. DeAngelo Russell won 21-19.
What?
At least it was by 2, and it wasn't 21-7.
Yeah, I don't know. Watching this game, I put my phone down and just to watch in awe of how disappointed I was in Ronnie 2K. Very disappointed.
Interesting. I mean, we love upsets, don't we? Moving on to the final game in the East, Kevin Durant and John Wall. Tommy?
John Wall has always been one of my favorite players in this league because of his athleticism. But well, when you go against a guy who's 7 feet tall and can shoot from anywhere in the court with the hands in his face, it's going to be hard to find somebody who can beat that. I have Kevin Durant winning here easily.
I had John Wall just due to the fact he's one of my favorite players, his athleticism, and I believe he can play defense very well on Kevin Durant, even though he's got a long wingspan.
What?
I think he can guard. I think John Wall can guard Kevin Durant.
I don't think that anybody can guard Kevin Durant. I think he's one of the most unique players, if not the most unique player in the history of the league. He's 7 feet tall. He can do the things of a guy that's like 6'3". Kevin Durant in a landslide. Like, it's kind of disrespectful that Kevin Durant's not a number one seed here. But anyway,
although y'all were hating on my man John Wall took the W.
There's no way.
23-21. I swear, I did not touch a single thing in that game. I watched it. John Wall locked him down.
Wow.
Yikes. That's tough, man. That's tough.
And Ronnie was on my side today.
That ended the East. Just a recap. We had Yanis, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, DeAngelo Russell, and John Wall, all winning, moving on to the next round. Let's move on to the West side now. Tommy, LeBron, your favorite. I'm assuming you're picking LeBron here.
Yeah, LeBron James is going to win. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stands no chance. It would be like me playing LeBron.
I think you can give him a run for your money. But that's just
No, I can't.
Although I am a fan of Shai, he scores the ball very well, rebounds the ball very well, and he passes very well. There's just no beating, in my opinion, this year's MVP.
This year's MVP, are we talking about Giannis or are we talking about LeBron?
No, LeBron. LeBron's winning this year's MVP.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We just had different thoughts there. Anyway, I take LeBron in a landslide here as well.
Moving on in the West. Oh, sorry, you go. My bad.
No, you're 21-5. LeBron with the win.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
No, no surprise there. Moving on. Kawhi Leonard, Zion. Tommy?
This might make a lot of people angry, but I have Zion Williamson winning this one. I feel like he's a once-in-a-lifetime player. He can jump 30 feet in the air, and Kawhi Leonard, hands down, one of, if not the best defensive player in the league. I don't think we'll ever see another player like Zion Williamson, which is why he's so unique to guard. Unfortunately, Kawhi can't jump 30 feet in the air like Zion can, and he also has a sneaky three-point shot, so I'm going to take Zion there.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on there. I had Kawhi just due to the fact that he's a veteran. He's won his rings. He's played with some of the greatest coaches of all time. He'll know how to play against people like Zion Williamson, and he's just a lockdown defender. In my opinion, probably the best defender in the league right now.
Yeah, I actually think this one's a little bit tougher than it seems. Just like you said, Tommy, I think Zion is revolutionary, and he's unlike anything that we've ever really seen. And because of that, I don't think we know what to expect from him. You know, like he could do some really sneaky things that you don't expect. However, I do take Kawhi in this one. Kawhi is perhaps one of the best one-on-one players in like the history of the league. And style-wise, he's pretty close to Jordan. I mean, he can get to any spot, anytime, anywhere, and he's able to score very easily in a one-on-one game. I take Kawhi here.
Kawhi took it 21-3. Although I don't agree with the score, I do think Kawhi will still win anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
21-3. Insane. Next, Damian Lillard, Kevin Booker. Tommy?
I'm sorry. My terrible handwriting made that look like it said Kevin. That's Devin Booker.
Devin.
Damian Lillard has really had a great year this year carrying the Portland Trailblazers. But I'm going to take Devin Booker here, and here's why. I feel like his talent has been held in a box because he is in Phoenix. As we all know from Charles Barkley's rants on Inside the NBA, Phoenix is not a good place for young players to develop. And I feel like Devin Booker, given the one-on-one opportunity, he can beat a lot of people and surprise a lot of people. So I have Devin Booker here.
I had Devin Booker as well. I remember watching him play one-on-one with Kevin Durant and all those guys at Team USA, and he was sticking up with them. I believe he is a great scorer, great shot, and I do think he is stuck in Phoenix, and it's just kind of sucks for him at this point. But I do have him winning.
Man, this is a really tough matchup. Obviously, I think Devin Booker is one of the best young players in the league right now. He's like a super fluid scorer. He can score at all three levels. But I take Dame here. Like, Dame's just a better player at this point in time. Booker's size might give Dame a little bit of a problem, but Dame can score from anywhere. And Dame, on a very sneaky level, has become one of the best players of this entire generation. I think Steph is probably one of that kind of player, and Dame is not very far behind them. So I'll take Dame in this one.
Devin Booker took the W 22-14. Was one of the best games to watch, in my opinion, because it was more balanced.
What was the final score?
22-14, Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's a really good matchup, though. That's a good game.
Moving on, Chris Paul and Paul George. Tommy?
This is another one where size advantage is really going to get the best of this. And just the fact that Paul George is the definition of a great two-way player. He'll lock you down on defense, and he'll make you pay on offense. I have Paul George winning this one over CP3.
I actually had Chris Paul winning this one just due to the fact that I'm more of a bigger Chris Paul fan, but I just believe he can get to the cup at will. If this was 2-on-2, just Chris would just have a limited assist. But although it is 1-on-1, I still believe he would win it.
If this were taking place in real life, I would choose Chris Paul because I think his competitiveness and his understanding of the game would allow him to win. And I think Paul George is a little soft. But since it's 2K, I'll say Paul George, partly because of the things that you mentioned, Tommy, his size advantage, and he can literally do everything. He's a prototypical NBA player: shoot, pass, dribble, defend. So for 2K purposes, I'll take Paul George.
Yep, Paul George, 21-3, very hard to watch.
Golly.
Some of these are bad.
Tommy, that's the game that would happen if I played you in basketball. I'd have the 3 and you'd have the 21.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. You might get one if you're lucky.
All right, maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, you're not
got
wrong.
a challenge.
I mean, he's not wrong. A 5'4" kid. I don't know. Moving on, Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry. Tommy.
Coach, I might lose a couple of brownie points with you here. Russell Westbrook is, in my opinion, one of the best players of the generation because he's averaged a triple-double in 2 seasons. No one's done that before. It's absolutely unheard of. And he's just one of my favorite players to watch as well. His competitiveness is off the charts, and it's just so much fun to watch. He might be slightly toxic at times, but that's okay. I have to go with Russell Westbrook here over Steph.
Yeah, I had to go with Russell Westbrook just due to the fact that he can get to the cup at will, and sometimes he'll surprise us and maybe drop a 3, but the thing that he has over Steph Curry is just athleticism.
I can't believe how disrespectful you guys are being towards my guy.
Don't make
Steph
me run
right
33s.
Yeah, and I've been really outspoken about how important and how great I think Steph is. And I actually think Steph wins this one easily. On the defensive side, all Steph has to do is give Russ 3, 4, 5 feet, and just wait for him to shoot it. Russ is going to make a couple, but he's not going to consistently beat you like that. And Curry can score in any way. He can score from 3. He's statistically been one of the best finishers at the rim the past 5 or 6 years. So I take Steph easily in this one. And he's not toxic. He's a great teammate.
Well, Coach, you got to be wrong on one of them. Russell Westbrook, 21, Steph Curry, 19. It was a really good game to watch.
That's tough.
Moving on, Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. Tommy.
Jokic, yeah. This in the battle of the EuroLeague stars here, I have to go with Luka Doncic. He has been off of the charts this season. leading that Mavericks team. And we really didn't expect anything from him. We knew he was going to be good, but maybe not this good. And I think that he really could be in talks for an MVP candidate because he's been so good. Jokic is good too. He's one of my favorite players to watch because he makes everything look really easy. But I have Luca winning this one.
Yes, I had Luca as well, just due to the fact that he can score at all three levels. And although like the size is very similar, I believe Luca is more of an athletic person. And when it comes to athleticism, you're going to win in 2K.
Yeah, I'll take Luca in this one as well. The size advantage isn't very big. I think Jokic is 6'10" or 6'11". Dantas is 6'7", and I think Jokic, his game shines much more in a 5-on-5 setting. His ability to see the floor, make plays for guys. But one-on-one, Luca has everything that you need here. I take Luca by a lot here.
Yep, another great game. 21 Luca, 16 Jokic.
Last one for the West, Anthony Davis and Donovan Mitchell. Tommy, who do you have?
Yeah, this one's going to be another size kills game. Anthony Davis should win this by a landslide, not only because he has a size advantage, but I feel like he's a much better all-around player than Mitchell. And while Mitchell is one of the best players up and coming, Anthony Davis can do anything you need him to do. He can shoot. He's finishes incredibly well at the rim, and he plays some great defense as well.
I'm gonna have to go with Anthony Davis as well, just due to the fact that he's one of those versatile players that can put the ball on the ground and also can be in the post if you need him to. And against someone like Donovan Mitchell, who is very athletic, I think he's about 6'3", Davis is just gonna win this game no matter what.
Absolutely. Davis is a ridiculous combination of size and skill, and just the size advantage alone gives him the advantage over Mitchell. This one's easy.
Another landslide, 21 Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell 3.
Wow.
It's close.
Now the last one for the West, James Harden and John Morant. Tommy, who do we have?
This is a really tough one. But similarly to Kyrie Irving, James Harden is one of the last guys I would ever want to play in a one-on-one game. While he has absolutely no defense at all, I have James Harden winning this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. If Harden started with the ball, there's just no way you're getting it back. He's not missing. He's just gonna kill you. And to be honest, like I think if Harden really wanted to, he could play defense. And as in 2K, Harden does have a lockdown badge, which I don't agree with. I still think he can use it.
Yeah, there are a few players that I dislike watching more than James Harden. He basically holds your offense hostage when he's on your team. But I think it's undeniable his ability to score. Like his step-back three has become one of the craziest weapons in the history of the NBA. And he's nearly impossible to guard. He's either getting fouled or he's getting a bucket. So I take Harden in this one by a lot.
This was a very close game, 22 Harden, 20 John Morant. John Morant is a very athletic player, so that's how he stayed in front of him.
It should have been close.
That ends the first 16 teams on the West. We have LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Devin Booker, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, Luca Doncic, Anthony Davis, and James Harden all moving on to the Elite Eight. Guys, let's move back to the East now for the Elite Eight. Like I said, now we're moving on. We have Yanis playing Kyrie, Jimmy playing Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid playing Pascal Siakam, D'Angelo Russell playing John Wall. We'll start up at the top. Yanis versus Kyrie. Tommy, who do we have moving on to the who do we have moving on?
Yeah, so I had Giannis and Kyrie in my bracket as well. And this might be another one that makes some people angry. But like I said, Kyrie Irving is one of those players that you don't want to play one-on-one. I'm taking Kyrie Irving here. Giannis Antetokounmpo may have 2 or 3 feet on Kyrie, but his handles are undeniable, and he'll have Giannis flipping because he's like a giant, and Kyrie can move much faster, even though Giannis can move pretty well.
I had Giannis taking this one just due to his wingspan, can just be about anywhere, that he just has to put his arms out and slide on defense and he'll be there. Although Kyrie handles the ball very well, I just don't think you're going to beat Giannis.
I agree with you, Ashton. I think Giannis takes this one. Kyrie is not great defensively by any means, and Giannis's length, his athleticism, his size will allow him to score at will. And I also think his length and athleticism will help him on the defensive side. I think Kyrie will be able to get past him, but Giannis's physical tools will allow him to make up for it, and it'll be really tough for Kyrie to score. I take Giannis in this one.
Yep, another landslide. 21 Giannis, Kyrie 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Next, in the round of 16, not Elite 8, I apologize, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons. Tommy, who's moving on?
Well, in my bracket, I had the opposite of what you had. I had Trae Young and Kemba Walker. I had Trae Young winning simply because, from long range, you can't guard him. But if it was between Simmons and Butler, I'm going to have to go with Ben Simmons simply because of his athleticism. Jimmy Butler is an incredible player, incredible competitor, and he's done an amazing job this year. But Ben Simmons has done all those same things. He's been doing them for a while now.
Although I do agree with you, I really wanted Jimmy to win this game. But like you said, Ben Simmons just going to take the game due to his size, and he's just going to back you down the whole game.
Well, I'll step out on that limb. I'll go Jimmy Butler here. So Ben Simmons is 6'10". Jimmy Butler is 6'8". So I don't think that size advantage is enough to give it to Ben Simmons. And like I mentioned earlier with Jimmy Butler, he's got the ability to defend almost anybody, and Ben Simmons can't shoot at all. Jimmy Butler's a more complete offensive player. I give this one to Jimmy Butler.
Actually, this one goes to Ben Simmons, 21, Jimmy Butler, 14. Another great game to watch, though.
Tough.
Both. Next, Joel Embiid and Pascal Siakam. I think I know, Tommy, who you're going to pick. Who are you actually going to pick?
Yeah, I had that same matchup in my bracket, and I think Pascal Siakam takes this. I like Joel Embiid and all, but I feel like Pascal Siakam is kind of becoming a better player. Coach, like you said, Embiid's motor isn't the best at times, and I think Pascal Siakam has been very consistent throughout his entire career, especially these last 2 years where he's really improved, and that's why he's got this one.
Although every statement you've made is factual, I don't believe Pascal Siakam would take this one just due to the fact Joel Embiid is just going to kill him in the paint.
Agreed. I think the size advantage is too big, and Embiid is able to guard a little bit on the perimeter. I think he's able to do that enough, and I'll take Embiid in this one.
Another landslide, 21, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, 7.
Finally, for the round of 16 in the East, we have DeAngelo Russell and John Wall. Tommy, kick us off.
Yeah, I had the opposite here, Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant. Definitely Durant wins that matchup simply because of the fact that he is 7 feet tall and can shoot from anywhere. But if it was Wall and Russell, I would have to take John Wall simply because of his athletic ability. He's one of the fastest players in the league. He can get from half court to the basket in maybe 2 steps. And he's really hard to guard as well. He's got some great handles, and he can shoot as well. He has a sneaky jump shot, but his athletic ability is what wins him that game.
I agree with you as well. I believe DeAngelo Russell is not as strong as John Wall. He's just going to kill him, just getting to the cup, sidestepping, doing whatever he has to do.
I agree with both you guys. I think the athleticism from John Wall will be too much for DeAngelo Russell.
In the landslide, John Wall, 21, DeAngelo Russell, 10.
Wow. That ends round of 16 for the East. Moving on to the Elite 8 in the East, we have Yanis playing Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid playing John Wall. Let's move on now to the West. We have LeBron James and Kawhi. Tommy, are you picking LeBron?
Well, either way here, I had Zion beating Kawhi, but even it could have been either one of them. LeBron James is winning that game effortlessly. Kawhi Leonard is obviously a lockdown defender and all that. But if you remember the last time that the Lakers and Clippers faced off, LeBron absolutely handed him. I'm not going to finish that sentence. LeBron is the much better player. He always has been the better player. He always will be the better player, and he's going to win.
Strong words, Tommy. Oh, my God, strong words.
I just tell the truth.
Yes, I'm going to have to agree with Tommy. Although I am a big Kawhi fan, I just believe LeBron is going to kill Kawhi. I don't know anyone who can guard LeBron.
I'm going to have to disagree with you guys. I think Kawhi is going to take this. I think Kawhi personally is a better one-on-one player than LeBron. I think LeBron becomes special when you put him in a 5-on-5 setting, just like I said with Jokic, his ability to see the floor, control the game, all of that. But I think Kawhi is, like I mentioned, able to get to any spot that he wants and score on almost anybody. And Kawhi will be more equipped than anyone to guard LeBron and deal with his physicality. So I take Kawhi slightly.
This is a very close game, actually. 22 LeBron, Kawhi 20. It's a great game to watch. I don't even know how many rebounds the both of them had. This was probably the longest game of them all.
Wow.
Yeah, that seems like the matchup of the tournament right there. That's a great game.
Next, we have Devin Booker and Paul George. Tommy?
This is another one where it's going to be pretty easy for Paul George to win it. He's going to body Devin Booker, and I think he'll make easy work of him because he's such a great two-way player. I have Paul George here.
Although Devin Booker has one of the most rare shots that we'll ever see, I just believe Paul George will just lock him down the whole game.
Man, this one's tough because I really do believe in the scoring ability of Devin Booker. However, like you guys mentioned, Paul George, his athleticism, his ability to score, but primarily what he can do on the defensive end, I think he gives him a slight edge over Devin Booker.
That slight edge turned into a huge gap into the game as Paul George took it 21-4.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's disrespectful.
Next, Russell Westbrook and Luca Doncic. Tommy?
This is going to be a really good matchup, one of the better ones that we'll see. But I think Russell Westbrook's skill set is just too overwhelming for Luca. He's not really known – Luca isn't really known for his defensive game, but Russell Westbrook offense is just too good. Sure, he can shoot at some times if it is the 2016 All-Star game, but he can get to the rack effortlessly, and I think that's what gives him the edge here.
Yeah, although I believe Luca's more of a skilled player, Russell Westbrook's just athleticism is just going to beat him down so bad. I got Russell over Luca.
First of all, I want to note that it's criminal that Steph Curry did not advance to the second round, but, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. Second, I think Luca wins this one because Luca has been used to being slower and less athletic than everybody that he's played against his entire life. I think he's found ways to accommodate for that. And just like I said last round, Russ can't shoot. And I think Russ becomes easy to guard because he can't shoot. And Luca is able to score against anybody, athletic, not athletic, big, small. So I take Luca by a little bit in this one.
Russell actually took this one 21-14. Another great matchup. 2K, coach. 2K.
Last in the West, Anthony Davis and James Harden. It's probably a tough game for you guys. Tommy, who did you have?
Yeah, this is a tough game, and this also might be a bad decision on my end. But I have James Harden simply because he is the definition of unguardable. And Anthony Davis is obviously a great player. He can score at will anywhere on the court. But James Harden's offensive skill set is just too overwhelming yet again.
Although I do believe Anthony Davis is a great defensive player, one of the best blockers this year, I don't think anyone can guard James Harden.
I agree with both you guys. And as much as it pains me to say this, I think Harden takes this just because he's made an entire career of pulling big guys out and either creating enough space to get his three off or drawing them in and then getting to the rack on them. He's elite at that, and I think that gives him the edge over Anthony Davis.
Yes, sir. James Harden, 21. Anthony Davis, 16.
That ends the round of 16 in the West side. With the recap, we have LeBron, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Moving on to the Elite Eight. Let's go back again now to the East side, where it's a reminder we have Giannis playing Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid playing John Wall. Tommy, let's kick it off. Giannis versus Ben Simmons. Who do you have?
So I had Kyrie and Trae Young here in my bracket at least, and I think that's a pretty easy one. Kyrie Irving takes that effortlessly. But if it was Simmons against Giannis, that's an easy win for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, he's just too long and way too good. While Ben Simmons is also very good, he can't shoot. And Giannis can't shoot either, but he can at least shoot better than Ben Simmons. And it might not be very tough to do because I can probably shoot better than Ben Simmons, but nonetheless, Giannis Antetokounmpo wins this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. The battle of the people that can't shoot, really. But I just believe Giannis is just going to bring it over and just dunk it with his left this whole time. Although Ben Simmons is a great player, and they're both pretty similar in height, but not size, I still believe Giannis is going to take this.
Yeah, so I actually think that Ben Simmons is poor man's Giannis. He's not as athletic. He passes a little bit better, but he's not able to use his athleticism to impact the game, and he can't shoot, and he doesn't even want to shoot. Like, Giannis will shoot them, and he'll make a few. Ben Simmons will not even shoot it, and I think because of that skill, I give Giannis the advantage.
Yep, Giannis took this game 21-12.
Moving on now, Joel Embiid and John Wall. Tommy, who do we have?
So I had Pascal Siakam and Kevin Durant in my bracket, and I had an upset here as well. I think Pascal Siakam could win that one-on-one. But who did we say it was? Joel Embiid and John Wall?
John Wall.
Yeah, Joel Embiid wins that one easily simply because of the height advantage. And the fact that he can do a lot of the same things that John Wall can, but just a lot slower and maybe less athletically.
Yeah, although I am a John Wall bandwagon, I will ride or die with John Wall. I just believe Joel Embiid's size and 2K is just going to beat John Wall at that point.
I completely agree with you guys. I think Joel Embiid's size advantage makes the difference here, and John Wall doesn't shoot it well enough for Embiid to be able to guard him closely, so you can kind of wait him out, make him miss a few jumpers, and then Embiid's just going to back him down and punish him in the post. So I'd take Joel Embiid here.
Yeah, Joel, 21, John Wall, 16. John Wall stayed in there as long as he could. I'm proud of him.
That ends the Elite Eight. Moving for the East, at least. Moving on to the Final Four, we have Giannis, we have Joel. Let's move down to the West, to the final, to the Elite Eight in the West. We have LeBron and Paul George. Tommy, let's see you, LeBron. Moving on.
LeBron James has dominated Paul George since his days in Miami, and he will continue to do so throughout the rest of his career, no matter what team Paul George is on. So I may sound biased, but also all around, LeBron James is just a much better player in my opinion. I feel like this year he's developed his three-point shot a lot more. May not be as consistent as it was in his earlier years, but it's still pretty solid for a guy who's been in the league for 17 years. And Paul George has just been way too inconsistent this year, at least for my liking. So I have LeBron winning this one.
Yeah, I may sound biased as well, but LeBron just takes this. LeBron, despite skill and all that, LeBron is just a much stronger, more athletic guy.
So if there's anybody who can beat LeBron besides Kawhi, I think it could be Paul George. He has the size, he has the ability level, he has everything that you could want in a guy for this type of matchup. But I think that LeBron has mind control over Paul George. He's had mind control over him since his Pacer days. And I actually think that Paul George is more skilled than LeBron. I know you guys are going to like crucify me for that one. But I don't think LeBron handles the ball very well. But anyway, with that being said, I think LeBron takes this one pretty easily.
Yep, 21-12.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen LeBron get plucked, but that's just maybe me. Unless we talk about the Clippers game where Patrick Beverley. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So in my personal opinion, I don't think LeBron dribbles that well. Like everything, like it doesn't look too fluid. But at the same time, he never gets it taken from him, and he always is able to get to the spots on the floor that he wants to go. So it really doesn't even matter in that regard. But it just doesn't look very good sometimes.
It's not beautiful because he's a very stiff guy, but you also got to remember he's probably 250 pounds of muscle mass. I don't think there's a lick of fat in him at all.
I don't think so either.
Next, and the final one in the Elite Eight for the West, Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Tommy, who do you have?
So I've been riding with my guy Russell Westbrook this entire time, but I'm going to have to drop him off here against his teammate James Harden. He may have the athletic advantage, but James Harden is a surprisingly athletic player as well for somebody in his build, and I feel like James Harden takes this one easily with that little combination.
Yeah, just being 6'5", shooting, handling, doing about anything you want to, I think just James Harden is going to take this game. Russell Westbrook's a great player. Like we said, he's toxic and that, but I just think James Harden is going to take this game over him. Great Rockets matchup. I'm sure John Lucas is there watching and yelling at them both.
I'm going to take Russ here. I'm going to step out on a limb. I'm going to take Russ. I think Russ's competitiveness, his athleticism, and his ability to defend will give him a slight edge over James Harden. And Harden also doesn't guard anybody. So I think this is a good matchup for Russ. I think he takes this one just by a little bit.
Although it was very close, it was just an offensive game this whole time. It was 21 James Harden, Russell Westbrook 18.
Yeah, you could go either way with that one, honestly. They both have incredible skill sets that are unique.
I'm sure we'll see it in the near future, a real life one-on-one.
Let's move back now over to the East. Finally, the Final Four. For the East, we're having Yanis versus Joel. In the West, LeBron versus James Harden. Let's start off in the East. Giannis versus Joel. Tommy, who's moving on to the finals?
Man, it's crazy because three of these guys can't play in the playoffs. And especially these two here, Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. One-on-one scenario, size differential isn't that much, but the athletic ability, it's Giannis by a landslide, and that's why he's going to win this one. In my bracket, I had Kyrie Irving and Pascal Siakam, and because I simply think that there's no one who can guard Kyrie Irving one-on-one, no matter who you are. So I have Kyrie Irving winning that one. But with our 2K bracket, definitely have to go with Giannis.
Yeah, I just think in a real life world, it'd be a good game. But in 2K, Joel Embiid is just not fast at all. And Giannis, once he gets that takeover badge, and once he's a slasher, it's just over. You're not guarding him. There's just nothing you can do at that point.
Agreed. There's absolutely no size advantage here. Joel can't post up Giannis, which I think is the best part of his game. And Embiid absolutely cannot guard Giannis. I take Giannis by a lot.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. 21, Giannis, 2, and Joel Embiid.
Whoa. Hey, what was the score again?
Wow.
21-2, Giannis.
Wow.
That's the worst one yet, isn't it?
I think so.
As I look at it, I think so.
We've had a couple 21-3s, but this one. Moving on to the West now in the Final Four, LeBron and James Harden. Tommy, obviously you're a LeBron fan, but you've given a lot of praise to James Harden with his offense, and I know he can't play defense. So I'm assuming you're going to pick LeBron James here because of his lack of defense. Am I right?
You can hate LeBron, but you can't have him losing this game. James Harden is not the guy that would want to play LeBron James, and he would bully him, honestly. This should be a landslide victory for LeBron James. I have LeBron winning it.
Yeah, I just think with size, strength, and just overall, I think LeBron's taking this game. I think he's just going to completely obliterate James Harden. I believe he's one of the few people that can guard James Harden. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take James Harden in this one. I think you guys are overrating LeBron's one-on-one defensive ability just a little bit, and I think you're underrating James Harden's defensive ability just a little bit. Harden does not guard anybody on the perimeter. However, this past season, Harden was one of the best post defenders in the league. So if anybody has the strength to be able to deal with LeBron, I think it's James Harden. And Harden can score from anywhere on anybody. Doesn't matter if it's LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, whoever. I take James Harden by just a little bit in this one. I'm going to step on the limb here.
Sounds like Tommy and I are right. LeBron 21, James Harden 7.
7?
Called him a baby.
That's tough.
LeBron would rock him to sleep.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Finals. Yanis, LeBron. We've gotten them this far. 32 teams down to 2, with players down to 2. Giannis is last year's MVP. I know, Tommy, you think LeBron's going to be this year's MVP, and you're a LeBron fan. Should be. Who's winning it all? Who's taking the money?
Well, before I take the 2K pick in my bracket, I had Kyrie facing off against LeBron, and Kyrie's road to glory stops there. But Giannis and LeBron is the best matchup that we will have this entire tournament. Nonetheless, the real MVP this year and the greatest basketball player of all time wins this one.
So are you picking Giannis?
No, LeBron James wins.
Okay, just trying to be certain, man.
This one was hard for me because I will ride or die with LeBron till the day I die. I've watched him in Miami. I've watched him just about anywhere that you want to see him at. But this is 2K. We have to realize this is 2K. And although I will ride or die for LeBron, I just think Giannis takes this in a 2K setting. I don't believe it's by much, but it's 2K, so I think Giannis takes it, sadly.
Okay, so just a few notes here before I tell you guys my prediction on this one. I do think LeBron is the best player to ever play basketball. Another note is I think that Giannis is going to win back-to-back MVPs this year. I think he is currently the best player in the NBA. I would rather have LeBron in a playoff series, but I think Giannis is the best player in the league. And also, I want you guys to remember this All-Star game this past February. There was a possession where LeBron had the ball. I think this was in the fourth quarter when it really started to get competitive. LeBron had the ball. Giannis was guarding him, and LeBron was absolutely suffocated offensively. Like, Giannis swarmed him. He blocked his shot, and I think that is a microcosm of what would happen in this game. I think it would be very difficult for LeBron to score because he can't dribble, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. And I think Giannis would be able to get buckets a little easier than LeBron. I take Giannis, and I'm going to give you a score prediction here. I'll go 22-20.
Millen, you got any last words before we reveal this last one?
For me, I'm not a huge basketball fan. I mean, Tommy and you, Ashton, you both know that. I'm gonna ride with LeBron. He was the first. When I first started getting the basketball, I've lived for you, Coach. I've lived in Connecticut, Pittsburgh, and Seattle, 3 places that don't have basketball teams.
Oh, wow.
So that's why basketball hasn't been a big strong suit for me. But when I was getting the basketball, I've always grew up watching LeBron. Not as hard as Tommy, but I'm gonna go with LeBron. He's just my favorite player in the NBA, so I'm gonna go LeBron.
Okay.
I believe that we all give great arguments, but at the end of the day, Giannis took this one 21-19.
It would never happen. And in that same All-Star game, I just want to point this out. In that same All-Star game, also down the stretch, Giannis had the ball in a similar situation in the post with LeBron guarding him, tried to back him down. LeBron didn't move an inch. Giannis dribbled, went off his foot, out of bounds, turnover. That led to Team LeBron winning that one. And then the last time the Lakers and the Bucks played in the onslaught that it was, LeBron had that similar situation in the All-Star game, but instead of going for a post fadeaway, he decided to drive on Giannis. He bodied him even though he's 7 feet tall, and then dunked on him as well. So
I do remember both of those plays. I didn't mention them because they didn't fit my narrative, but I do remember both of those, and I think 2K finally got it right with this one. I'm glad Yanis can reign supreme as the best player in the league.
You're never going to win that argument.
That ends our bracket. Coach, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We love the Tommy, LeBron. Wow. But that ends our show for today. I know for sports is going to be, there's not a lot of sports news that's going to be happening. There was a news study earlier this week that baseball could be starting up at the end of May. Obviously, due to coronavirus, nobody knows exactly each going for day to day. But for you guys who are watching, thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing, sharing these videos. We have a lot of fun making them. We love being guests. So again, Coach, thank you for coming on. Look for more of these fun type of videos in the future, as there's no sports news to talk about. We might do one for the MLB Home Run Derby. We might do something for football, maybe even the XFL. Who knows? But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys. Stay blessed.